All the time, one of the most popular things on YouTube is top 10. Hottest selling books on the planet. Here's the top 10 books from last week.
The books you want to buy right now.
These books are exploding in value. That's not what this is. This is 10 perpetually hot Bronze and Copper Age books. There's no Silver Age on this. And they always sell with a major caveat. We're going to get into all that. Before we unpack all that, on Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time, on Instagram, we're live. Every Monday, selling comics. The majority, 9 out of 10 of these books we've sold on our claim sales. So where else do we sell comics?
We also have a Buy It Now on Instagram where we post books available for sale. We always have some up, so I'm sure we have some right now that you can look at. We post on eBay every single week. So check out our eBay store. All of this is linked down below or on the QR code on the screen. Also, we have an Amazon store linked down below with all of the things that we use for pressing and packing and filming and all of that good stuff.
And that's for your convenience, really. And one more thing, we buy collections. This QR code right here gets you right to us. We're fair, easy to deal with. If you're thinking about selling your books, think about us. Let's hop right into this list. What I did is I thought about books that every single time I have a copy, it sells. And I know as soon as I see it, I can sell this. Here's the caveat I spoke about a minute ago. We do not professionally grade our books through CGC. We are strict graders. It is the number one function of what we do. We feel that selling a book to a customer that we most of the time know who they are. We have a lot of repeat customers. It's really between us and them. And they have sent them in and they've gotten some great results, and I'm not concerned about that. But if they're not graded, they seem to sell a lot better. I'll give you an example. This book in 9.4, I could sell it raw in this condition a lot better than I can sell this. It will be cheaper, and that's the deal, right? So one of the issues with selling books, people are price sensitive, especially after the comic boom and all of the money that people spent on slabs, and some of those books have gone down, lost all their value. I mean, potentially all their value. There's books before the comic boom, I don't remember spending less than the cost to slab a book, and now you can buy books for under what it cost to even slab them. So that's all been the last 5 years. I've really changed the focus of how I sell comics into selling books that aren't slabbed. The reason is by the time it takes for me to send it in, wait for it, it could get damaged in the mail, they're going to grade it. I don't sweat grades because a grade is a grade. Couple of things before we get into it. I don't give something 2 grades. It's not a 9.4 or a 9.2.
We call that a tweener.
We
usually go down.
We call that 9.2. So, it's things like that I think that there's different ways that people approach it. Some people just call things high grade or mid grade, and they sell all their books like that, and they don't tell you a grade. We're the opposite. We tell you a grade of everything that we sell, unless it's a set or something like that, and we'll still give you an idea what the grade is.
And we still price it accordingly, too.
We write things like stain, if it has a stain, even a minuscule stain, foxing. That's part of the grade that we give, even though the grade's already attributed to that. It's just kind of like how I was raised up in the business, you know what I'm saying? That you tell somebody a grade when you're talking about a book. That's not everyone's deal. It's just ours. But I want you to know that the books, we're going to have values on them. We're going to talk about values, but I'm primarily talking about mid-grade copies. And I'll tell you why. I buy a lot of collections. And as I sell books like this, almost exclusively when I get them in collections, they're not 9.8s. So people like to use 9.8 as a value. Like, here's what a 9.8 gets. It creates an illusion that book's actually worth that. It's not. Even 9.8s aren't typically worth what you think they are. Do an exercise. As I go through these books, look how many 9.8s are posted, look at the prices that they're asking, and then look at how much the last one sold for.
On eBay.
On eBay. That's the best place because it has the most books. Invariably, you're going to find that every single book you look at, whatever they're asking is way more than the last one sold for. Every time. And that's just something you have to consider. So when I price things, I price them at what I think they're going to sell at, not what I'd like to get for them. It's part of a surrender I go through. Like, boy, it would be nice, but no. It'd be nice to get $100 for this, but I don't see the market bearing more than $70. So I'll price it $60. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just price to sell. That's why when you go to conventions, you see walls full of books. And on Sunday, you still see a wall full of books. They're not priced to sell.
Those are just to look at.
They're not priced to, it's eye candy. They're not priced to sell. They're priced to get the most for the book. And the books we're talking about today are all desirable books that people want. So I think people, when they get a hold of a book like this, they say, well, I'm going to get the most out of this. And it's not our perspective. Shouldn't be yours either, to pay the most. So sometimes it's about getting a copy that fits your personal, collecting goals, I like 9.4s. I like books without any visible wear, whatever that is. Any grade's a good grade as long as I get the book. There's lots of ways to collect. Before we get into it, are there any questions?
Well, I just was thinking about your comments about CGC and how, like, before the comic boom, you don't remember slab selling for less than slab price.
Yeah.
And I wonder if other factors include the fact that, like, there are multiple companies that slab books.
Competition.
But also, like, there's been a lot of, like, issues with CGC in the last few years.
And
like,
the
a lot of,
the
like,
prices
controversies, price points, issues with grading.
Yep.
And I'm sure all of those also are a factor into why the prices are so much lower than they used to be.
They are. I think the biggest thing is that Disney Plus killed it. Whenever WandaVision and Loki came out, people started to spec that, man, if it's going to be like this, these keys are going to be worth a lot. And across the board, everything that had been optioned started to explode. The Eternals, if you can show a picture of Eternals #1. And then, if you don't mind, at its highest selling price in 9.8 and what it sold for last in 9.8, I think it's gone down 90%.
I feel like a lot of those books.
Because a Marvel movie was announced. Here comes the Eternals now. Jack Kirby, Fourth World. People got so excited. This is a dollar bin book. It just wasn't the most respected work or the most respected series. It was late. It was Bronze Age, not Silver Age. A lot of factors, but people started to speculate, and it reminds me of the tulip speculation that happened in the 1500s where people were paying amounts that were unsustainable. It's not possible to maintain those prices. I was thinking at the time, and it was really a euphoric thought that this was a price correction for books that hadn't gone up, and I was wrong. I think if you're looking at the market today, as we talk about prices on these books, none of these are on a hot list. Not to say that you're not going to recognize all, if not most, of these books. They're not on hot lists, but they're popular. Rachel and I know as soon as we see one of these, this is selling. And there's books I look at and say, this is not selling. It really depends on who's buying books from you. There's things that I can sell all day. High-grade Bronze Age, like 9.4, 9.6, I can sell just about anything. People want those. They're collectors, and they're not just looking for keys. Low to mid-grade Silver Age, all day long I can sell those. People want run fillers. I sell keys like that. People love keys like that. But what we're talking about today are books that are so consistent that in the last 5 years it hasn't changed, even though the price has, that no matter what, if I get this, I can sell it. Last point I'm going to make. I buy collections all the time. All the time. And I get series. All of these, I get the series. These books are always cherry-picked. It's how I started the topic for this video. I was going to call this, why the heck do you always take this book out of this
taking
run?
them out.
And some of them I'll really kind of illustrate with you. I just think it's funny because the values aren't really big. I just think people have been kind of programmed that, no, this is a special one.
Gotta hold on to this one.
and sometimes it's really, it can make or break me buying a collection. When I see it so cherry-picked that like all the books I think I can easily sell are pulled out, why do I want to buy it? So I should work so hard. 70% of them don't sell. They sit in a storage unit somewhere because I can't sell it. Or books that I can sell, I can just turn around and sell. It makes the money I've invested, maybe I can get it back. So let's start with the first book, New Teen Titans #2. What you got?
It came out in 1980, and it is the first appearance of Deathstroke.
Yep. Before you even get into the money, Deathstroke was a character that was on the Titans TV show. Deathstroke had some spec around him. Cool character, by the way, and been in DC ever since. And really, this is one of the most valuable books, if not the most valuable book, in this entire run. There are other keys, but this particular book is heavily sought after. What's the money on this book today?
So a CGC 9.8 recently sold for $500.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit of a premium on the newsstand on this. They're really early newsstands. If I were you, I wouldn't care that much about that. But anyway.
A raw mid-grade copy goes for around $60.
Yeah, so, and here's the deal about that. It's going to be really competitive if you see a $60 issue out there that's in Fine Plus or mid-grade. It's going to be competitive because you're going to have more people wanting to get that book than the however many copies are sitting on eBay overpriced right now at 9.8.
It's a lot more approachable than $500.
Even 9.6s, you're going to find that they're typically overpriced in the formats that you're going to look at. eBay, your favorite comic store that might have slabs for sale. People want to get premium amounts for slabs. I always make this recommendation. Find a dealer that you're comfortable with their grading or that takes returns if you're not happy with it or whatever it is to bring you satisfaction. Get them raw, especially if it's not a 9.8 because I have customers buy raw 9.8s from me all the time. And we call them 9.8s. because they're 9/8. It's hard to call a 9/8 a 9/6. If you don't believe me, try it sometime. Have a raw 9/8. You and 3 friends have graded it, and now we'll call it a 9/6. You won't do it. You won't, because it's a travesty of justice.
Like,
you know
more often than not, people go up rather than down when they're grading. So
this is a 10-0. I just wanted to point that out, that when you're looking, if you want to get a copy of this book, mid and even high grade raw, it gets a little bit competitive, because if it's priced right, if it's at a selling price rather than an asking price, you're going to find that someone's going to buy it immediately. Why do I know that? Man, because that's the way I price, and every time I get one of these, it'll be in a claim sale, I'll put it up, and I'll look at Rachel and say, go, like 10, 9. Whatever the lag is, I know it's going to sell within seconds, and every time they do. So the next book, Swamp Thing 37. Before we get into this, I can't tell you how many runs of Swamp Thing, entire runs, boxes of them, every single time this book's missing. It's like, come on, man. Because really, there's a important key is issue 21, if you can show a picture. This is where they changed the entire origin of Swamp Thing that led to the character today. The character wasn't as, I'm going to call it goofy. They really gave some stability to the character. That's an important issue. But you guys are all big Hellblazer fans, right? John Constantine? What is this book?
So it came out in 1985, and it is the first John Constantine.
So here's the deal. When's the last time Hellblazer has been hot at all? As a matter of fact,
when the movie came out,
people take this book, they're like, I can't let that go. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Because I can sell it. I mean, because people want that book, and that goes on both sides of that. Sometimes people just don't want to let the ones that are harder. Another point I'd like to make is why these aren't in collections sometimes is because they were hot since the second they came out, and maybe they were on a pool list, or they were just getting comics by the week, and there weren't any left.
Or they sold it.
Because I buy a lot of they sold it.
Or they sold it.
They sold it. And that's a huge one, right? Like, oh, you're missing these 10 books. Yeah, well, I had to sell it. It got up to, during the comic boom or whatever. So
okay, so a 9/8 recently sold for $1,100.
Yeah.
You can get a mid-grade raw copy for around $115.
I had a 9/6 slab of this for a long time. I did not make any money on it in terms of profit from the purchase price. I did have one of these in my original collection, though, and I think it came back a 9/6 or a 9/8 when I first came back to the hobby, and I sold it in an auction, I think. It's been so long, I almost forget, but...
It was like 6 years ago. So.
Yeah. Anyway, there's another one. Always sells, perpetually hot, seldom on any list anywhere. But let me tell you, if a mid-grade one showed up, let's call it fine, very fine, and it was $115, it'd be gone like that. This one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Wolverine 88. Now I'm here to tell you, I have bought more sets of Wolverine than I can even count. This book is missing 10 out of 10 times.
I mean, it is the cover's great.
5-6 years ago, no one cared about this book.
I remember whenever we got the first one, when we started doing this, you were really excited about it.
Well, I got it in a blind box from Torpedo Comics.
Oh yeah, that's where you got it.
And I pressed it and got a 9/8. So
that was a win.
That was a win, man. I mean, I bought like $100 box and it was in there. So those are the only good blind. That was the best blind box thing I've ever got. This book is invariably picked every time.
So the book came out in 1994, and recently a CGC 9/8 sold for $250, which feels really low. And it's the first meeting of Deadpool and Wolverine.
And fight.
And battle.
Yeah, first official meeting in battle. It's got a really cool cover. It reminds me of Verege style art, right? Very sharp lines and just this classic pose of having him hanging over his head with his...
It's given the movie.
with his blades through.
Just like the movie.
Good cover. And it's a popular book anyway.
So the 9/8 sold for $250. A mid-grade copy goes for about $50. That feels low. It's gone down.
It has.
That feels low to me.
And that's another great point. So as we ride this bus of life and we move forward in the illusion of time, what happens is prices do not stay the same. Even if you're watching this video and it's not 2025 anymore, you might say those prices aren't right. It's a fluctuating item.
Changes.
Prices.
Sometimes every day it changes.
Some of these had some really epic highs, and I just kind of discard that because it doesn't impact us today. It's not the potential of the book. In other words, if this book was worth $1,000 at some point, I'm not saying it wasn't, that doesn't mean it has that potential. It means that there was a period of time that people had these rose-colored glasses with books and they spent too much. And it was usually this peak thing where it wasn't 50 copies that sold. It's like that last person that bought it for the most was standing at the edge of the precipice Because from that point on, it's down, down, down. These books are all pretty stable. Every book we're talking about, the prices we're talking about, I don't think they're going to change a great deal. I do think they're still going to be popular. I do think that you're going to find every time you see one priced right, it flies. If it didn't, you'd buy it. X-Men 266. What is this book, Rachel?
This is the first Gambit cover and the second appearance of Gambit. We've sold so many of these.
Well, I haven't had so many, I don't think.
I mean, I feel like we've had at least 10.
They sell so fast, it's blur, right? It's a blur. They actually sell faster than any other X-Men.
Yeah.
140, 141 do not sell as fast as this. Could have to do with the price point. Gambit is popular, guys. More popular than you think if you didn't know that. This is the book, if I had 100 of them, I'd be happy because they'll sell. It doesn't really matter what grade they're in. It really doesn't. As long as you're willing to, you don't pay too much for it. As long as you're willing to price it at the sale price, at the price it moves at, not at the most you can ever get. Because there's no book I'm talking about, if I overprice it, will it sell? No. I wouldn't recommend you buy a book for more than what the going rate is, because if you can get a book cheaper of the same quality, you should. You know what I'm saying?
So the 9.8 recently sold for $450.
That's a direct.
Yes, not, I mean.
Yeah, these are directs. I'm not doing any newsstands, just direct. Yeah.
Different lane. A mid-grade copy will sell around $100.
Yeah, I mean, you can have this book for $100. Like I said, if they're priced right, they're going to move fast, so you really have to keep your eye out, and you really have to make sure the grade matches the price on this one. But perpetually hot, sometimes it pops up on a list, sometimes it's not. That has nothing to do with the fact that people love this book.
People love Gambit. And the cover's cool.
The cover's great. This has only been the second appearance of Gambit for a while. X-Men Annual 14 was the first appearance. A baby Gambit.
He was a baby. He didn't throw those cards yet.
A couple of Spider-Mans, not a lot on this list, but this one is interesting. Amazing Spider-Man 316. We go through a lot of Spider-Mans. There's a lot of keys in that era that are Todd McFarlane covers. This one, I mean, I'm here to tell you, if it's priced right, every time you even think about putting it for sale, you got a line of people that want it. Tell us about this book.
Yeah, it came out in 1989, and it is the first full Venom on the cover.
Right, a third appearance, first cover, I think. Killer cover. One of the best covers on this list.
People love Venom.
He's imposing on this cover. This is a popular book, and I think it was the kind of book, too, that when they came out in comic book stores, that you might have had a hard time getting it. This, Hulk 347, there were some books that really started a lot of people kind of hoarding books, or, if someone got there before you, they'd buy 2 or 3 copies if the person at the store let them. It's always had a little bit of scarcity, or the hint of scarcity, even though maybe it's not scarce. And then people don't like to sell it. It's like, once you get it, I'm going to sell those, but this is dope. And almost every time I buy a collection, this one's missing. There'll be a 300, but not this. I don't get it. Not a 300. I said
There'll
300.
never be a 300.
There'll be like a 298, but not this.
Yeah.
So
a 9.8 recently sold for $425, and you can get a mid-grade copy for around $80.
Yeah, that's direct.
Good.
Yeah, if you get a copy of this that presented well or matched your criteria for however you collect, you'd probably want it. I mean, if you don't have it, even if you don't collect Spider-Man, because it's kind of an important book, it really kind of set the template, if you ask me, on how Venom should look. Because he looks imposing on that. That is a great cover.
The next book is Marvel Team Up number 53 from 1972, and it is the first John Byrne X-Men.
This is one of, I think, 2 Bronze Age books I have on here. Yeah, this particular book is the beginning of John Byrne doing the art, which he went on in Uncanny X-Men and did some of the best arc and run. That part of the run is really highly collectible up to like the 140s, right? Which wasn't his art anymore, but that's that whole story arc ending at Days of Future Past story. Kind of dips a little bit and then picks back up in the 200s when you had a completely different arc that they're picking up in X-Men 97 right now. They're picking up the arc in the 200s. However, this particular book, hard to find. How many Marvel team-up runs have I bought from people? And I'm telling you, I have owned thousands of copies of Marvel team-up. Right now, I just bought a run. What book was missing? This. Always this. It's like, oh, this is the best one. And actually, it kind of is, except for the black outfit costume, 141, I think. In the latter part of the series, this is probably the hottest book. Outside of number 1, some of the first 10, kind of hard to find in grade. Number 1 is incredibly hard to find in grade. But this book, if I have a copy of any grade at all, if it's priced fairly, boom. And is it on a hot list? No. Sometimes it pops up, but it's hot. If we saw it, we'd be like, oh, that's selling. Tell us about it.
A 9.8 recently sold for $450, and a mid-grade goes for like $30.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
And it's all over the board. If you look up data, it's like the sales are wonky. I think you're finding a lot of people now are getting books through claim sales, getting books through Instagram, whatnot, other places. So you're starting to see data kind of fall apart on eBay when it comes to raw. Sometimes you don't see any sales since 2022 or 23 because people are finding other ways to sell that weren't around then. So that has caused a bit of disruption on the raw pricing. Don't mistake a lack of activity for a lack of interest. People love John Byrne, they love X-Men, they love this era. This book has a lot of popularity, and it's in the Marvel Team Up series.
The next one's New Mutants 87 from 1990. It's the first full appearance of Cable.
So when I pick up, every collection has a run of New Mutants, guys, from original owner collections. Sometimes they fall off after the 30s, like people get tired. Seems like there's up to 3 years. Anywhere up to 3 years, and then people say, I'm not going to put that book in my pool box anymore. They got tired of the stories or whatever. This particular book never shows up. Now, of course, I could have put New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool.
That one also always sells.
It is also perpetually hot. Those aren't the kind of books I'm talking about. I'm kind of talking about the off books, the second tier. I'm not talking about the first seat in the orchestra. I'm talking about the second seat. And these books are just as hot. I'm telling you, if I have a copy of this, I've only sold 1 or 2 of these.
I can't even think of what the cover looks like in my head. I mean, I'll see it when I edit this. I just can't remember what it looks like right now.
They're on the screen.
It's here. You see it?
It's on the screen. Reminds me of Cheech and Chong. The cop pulled over Cheech and Chong and Up in Smoke, and he goes, can I see your license? He goes, it's back there in the bumper.
Okay, here's some prices. So a 9.8 recently sold for $375, and you can get a mid-grade copy for around $60.
Perpetually hot. People love Cable, and it's really interesting. They like Liefeld. Liefeld's making a comeback. If you guys haven't caught his TikTok videos or Instagram videos where he compares books, they're really good. I like that guy. And I like the art he's making now. I think he's still got it. It seems like he's pulling out some of the best work I've seen out of him.
His stuff is really recognizable too.
It is.
When he draws something.
It is. So anyway, this is a book, once again, if you can get it for a fair and reasonable price, you should grab it. You're not going to have too much of a problem selling these books that we're talking about if you had to.
The next one is G.I. Joe 21 from 1984. It's the first appearance of Storm Shadow.
This shows up in top 10 lists here and there because sales keep bumping around. But here's a part of the story that's not told. This book in mid-grade, holy mackerel. We just sold one last week.
Was it the silent issue?
Yeah. Well, it's the first appearance. It's the first appearance.
Is that what that was?
But it's called the silent issue because there's no word bubbles. There are things like he's reading signs and stuff, but there's no word bubbles. It's a really popular, it's the most popular G.I. Joe comic outside of the number 1 or right next to the number 1. And the money will tell you.
Yeah, the one we had was 8.0.
8.0, yeah. That flew.
It did. So a 9.8 goes for around $500. A mid-grade copy goes for around $75.
Newsstand on these goes for a lot more. Once again, we're only doing directs. So this is another one that's perpetually hot. If I get a copy of this, I get excited because I know one of my customers is going to get it. All has to do with pricing, guys. It really does. A book's not cold if it doesn't sell. It's probably overpriced. Just saying. I mean, you can go on right now and see some amazing books and like, wow, there's a lot of those out there. Well, there would be a lot less if they were priced lower. People are afraid it would kill the market for those things, but it just depends on how bad you want to sell something.
The next one is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 134, which came out in 1970, and it's the first Darkseid cameo.
Earliest book on the list, never talked about really. Once in a while it'll pop up. Great Neil Adams cover, by the way. Love this cover. How many Jimmy Olsens have I bought?
So many. So many.
I've had a couple of these. They never show up in the runs. They have the other Fourth World ones. They have the Jack Kirby Fourth World stuff, which this is part connected to, but they don't have this. So this is always a book people just happen to snatch out of there. Popular book. When it's priced right. You can find right now, I bet on eBay, there's some slabs out there that people are sitting on high prices. But if you look at the last sold price, you get a better idea of what the market should be.
So the most recent sell for this one was a 9.6, and it was for $22.50.
Not a cheap book.
No, that's pretty expensive. That's the most expensive one so far that we've talked about.
Yeah.
You can get a mid-grade raw copy for around $175, which is also higher than any other book we've talked about so far.
Yeah, I think I sold a 7.0 for like $300 slab that I've had for a while. I picked up in a collection.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
based on these prices.
I priced it to sell. I mean, I put it on eBay and priced it to sell. So it really has to do with the convention of pricing and how people choose to price something. But I'm here to tell you, if we had a raw copy of this with the way we price, I would have no doubt in my mind we're selling it.
Yeah.
The only reason I wouldn't sell this with a group of 50 people, just a random group of 50 people.
Yeah, that's pretty average for our sales.
Yeah.
50.
Most of the time it's like around 50. The only way I wouldn't sell it if it was priced too high.
Or if no one in the chat likes Superman.
Let's say I decided you don't have to like Superman to like Darkseid.
That's true. That's true.
He's a bad guy. People like bad guys.
The last book is Spider-Man #1, the Platinum Edition from 1990.
The only variant I have in this whole list, the only book of its type on this list. Do you ever see this book? Do you have one of these books? Drop a comment if you do. Holy mackerel, are they hard to find?
I think that's the only one we haven't had, is that one. Out of all the variants.
I don't think I've had a gold.
Oh, or the gold, yeah.
The
or
gold,
the, like, negative.
Drop a gold up there.
Yeah,
There's a gold edition, a second printing from Walmart. I actually like the way it looks better.
Yeah, that one's cool.
And it's been swiped. The gold has been swiped. The Platinum had the lowest print run of all of them, and they put all these out at the same time, and they were super popular, and I bought 10. I bought as many as I could get a hold of when they went on sale, and it created the bubble that exploded in the 90s that kind of killed comic books for quite a while and shut down 2/3 of the comic book stores in America because too many people were speculating and couldn't pull their money back out. They were buying all these books, and when they went to sell them, everyone had them because they speculated too. X-Force #1 was a good example. I mean, they weren't talking about Deadpool at the time. Deadpool card was at one point worth $80 in the last 5 years. I don't know what it's worth today. I bought a case of those. I mean, so, I was just going to put them away forever. And that's another story, but so we'll get into the value.
Yeah, so a 9.8 recently sold for $2,800, which is the highest price out of any book we've talked about today.
Yeah, just a little bit more than the first appearance of Darkseid because it's a higher grade.
And a mid-grade copy sells for around $325, which is wild.
If you could get a copy of this for $325 and fine plus, fine, very fine, I think you've done well because it's not a book you see a lot of. So let us know what you think about this group of 10 books. These are books, like I said, this is experience talking. The only book I haven't sold is that Platinum. I've sold all these other ones.
But if we had it, we would be able to sell it. If we ever got one. Someone would want to buy that.
The only way I would slab that is if I thought it was a 9.8 or higher, maybe put it in an auction. But I can see right now, even if you were to go on eBay, there's copies for sale. None of these books are hard to find. There's a big misconception that, hot books are hard to find. No, hot books are popular. People buy them when they're priced right. And let that be the lesson of the day. Pay attention to pricing. Make sure things are priced in a fair and equitable manner because things go up and down. You'd like to be on the upside rather than the downside if you ever go to sell. It's going to happen a mix of both things, right? Are there any last points you want to make, Rachel?
Just subscribe to the channel, please. Subscribe and follow us on Instagram.
Yep, and Pinkerton Not Blue album. Just saying.
True. All right, bye.
Bye.